How's everybody doing? Real John King here again. And this is going to be another one of my random road stories. Hey, this story here is about the time I worked with a comedian from LA. I didn't know this guy. What happened was we got booked by this agent out of Cleveland. I think it was Keith Gisser, Hysterical Management. Keith Gisser booked me and this other comic on it was like a 1 week tour. We was hitting little small towns in Ohio and Pennsylvania and West Virginia. The comic flew into town. He actually flew into Cleveland. He had this girl that he was messing around with up in Cleveland, so he flew into Cleveland. And he was supposed to drive down to Akron to meet me earlier that week and ride with me to do this tour. Now, at the time, I had a 1988 Chevy Astro van, and it was new. And I love that van, man. It was clean as hell. I kept it clean. And so this guy, like I said, he was supposed to meet me down in Akron, man, to ride with me to do these one-nighters. So he drove his car down there. Now, we ended up getting off to a very rough start. Because first of all, this guy got here like really late to my house, real late. And I'm a punctual person. And when I'm traveling like that, I like to leave in plenty of time just in case something happened. I won't, miss the gig. You miss that gig, you're going to miss that money. And I don't want to have to spend time driving and putting gas in a vehicle and don't make the gig. But anyhow, so this guy show up late. And now I was already a little ticked off about that because, you ride with me, man. The first thing you should do is make sure you get there on time. If I say be at a certain time, then, you should make it your duty to make sure you don't hold me up. So he finally get there, man, and he parks in my driveway, and we get into my van, and I'm getting ready to back out of the driveway. And I look, man, this dude has... I don't know the dude's name, by the way. I had never met him, didn't know his name, didn't know anything about him. I could just tell you this, he was a white guy. And when you hear what happened next, you're going to know that he was a white guy. I look over, man, and this dude got his feet up on my dashboard of my new Chevy Astro van. So I go, dude, what are you doing? And he go, what? I go, you got your feet on my dashboard. He say, I do that all the time. I say, well, look, player, you can do that all the time in your vehicle. I say, but you ride with me, man, and I don't put my feet on my dashboard, and you ain't going to put your feet on my dashboard. He said, all right. So he took his feet down off the dashboard, took his shoes off, and stuck his stocking feet back up on the dashboard. I go, dude, what the fuck are you doing? He said, well, I took my shoes off, man. I said, that ain't got nothing to do with shit, man. I say, don't put your feet on my dashboard. He go, oh, man, what's the big deal, man? I go, the big deal is I don't want your feet on my dashboard. So I had power windows in the van, man. So the dude, he got a little attitude because I wasn't going to let him ride with his feet on my dashboard. So he let the window down on the passenger side, and he took one of his legs and he stuck it out of the window. And I'm looking at this dude going, this dude got some serious mental issues here. So I go, look, MF, put your feet on the floor, man. I said, what kind of person are you? He said, man, what's the big deal? I ride like this all the time. I said, well, you can ride like that in your vehicle in California, man. I said, but you ain't ride like that in my car. I said, nobody's riding around with their feet sticking out the window, man. I said, so look, man, either put your feet back in the damn car and put your shoes on and ride like a grown-up, or I'm putting your ass out and you can drive your own car. So then that's when he agreed to put his leg back in the car and put his shoes on, man. So we driving. We on the expressway. We driving to the gig, man. I'm pissed. I guess his feelings a little bit hurt, but I don't give a shit, man, because you can't just get in my car and be disrespectful like that. So we don't say shit, man, to each other all the way to the damn gig, man, to the first stop. The first stop was was in middle Ohio. I don't even remember the name of the town, but it was somewhere in the middle of Ohio, a little small town. It was at a hotel, motel, hotel, whatever. I think it was a motel, Days Inn or something like that. So we check in, man, and the show started like at 8 o'clock that evening or whatever. We come down for the show. We get down to the showroom, man, and there's 2 other comics there. And they're looking at us, and we're looking at them, and we're like, well, somebody had already told them that the comics was already here, but, well, okay. What happened was the place got double booked. So it was 4 comics there. Somehow it was a mix-up in the booking, and they booked 4 acts. So the agent knew it was his mistake, so he don't want to choose on who should stay and who should leave. So he agreed that all four of us would do the show, and we would have to get reduced money, but at least we would get some money because we had showed up. They didn't want us to just leave. Nobody leave without getting paid. So we all agreed to that. So we agreed to do 20 minutes apiece. So now this guy from California who rode with me, he decided that he wanted to host the show. So I said, cool, man. The other guys didn't have no problem with it. And we all came to agreement that he would host the show, the other 2 guys would go up in the middle, and I would close the show, which was fine with me. I didn't have no problem with that at all. But the guy that rode with me, man, because I guess he just was a dick by nature, he goes up and he don't really do any material. He just starts talking to people in the audience. He's insulting people. He worked this room into a freaking frenzy, man. That room was noisy and people was pissed and heckling him and yelling back to the stage. And, it was just, the room was unworkable when he got off stage. So he gets off, he brings the next guy up. He gets off stage, come back to where I'm at, and he said, hey, man, I just fucked this room up. He said, the next guy, he gonna catch hell going up there because these people was working to a frenzy. And I go, dude, why would you do that? He said, what? I go, man, we all in this shit together, so why would you go up there and mess the crowd up like that? I said, now he got to try to dig himself out of a hole, which he did. And he didn't think that there was nothing wrong with it. He thought it was funny. He thought it was cool, For some reason, he thought we was like rivals, like me and him was against the other 2 comics. I'm like, man, I'm not against them. I'm not trying to make them look bad or make it hard for them to work. But for some reason, he didn't think nothing was wrong with it. So finally, my turn comes, man. He brings me up. I go up. I do my act, man. By that time, the crowd has settled down some. I have a good show. And afterwards, I say, dude, man, I said, that's not something that you should have did, man. I said, we all agreed that we would do the show, man. So I don't understand why you would go up there and sabotage the show like that. And he couldn't see it, man. He thought it was funny. He thought it was cute. He thought it was, there was nothing wrong with what he did. And I stopped trying to convince him that it was. So we ended up doing that week. And what I did was I just tried to spend as less time I could with that guy, man. And I tried not to engage him. If he tried to come to my room and hang out, I would always pretend like I had something to do. All I wanted to do was get that week over and get away from this crazy ass fool, man. And that's what I did. I worked the rest of that week. I kept my distance. And when I got back to my house, he got in his car and he went his way and I went mine, and I ain't seen him since, and nor do I want to ever see him again. All right, well, that's my random road story about working with a nutcase from LA, man. Take care.